Hi, Phoenix Song, and today we're going to be going deeper into the design of drum tracks on the MC-707 by Roland. So last time we built these two tracks out, the kick and snare, and today we're going to do a couple other things, and we're not going to be able to use the random to do these. Please like and subscribe to this channel. This is a completely independent production. Roland or no other companies are sponsoring this, so would love your support. I've got a Patreon account. Otherwise, please just like and subscribe to this channel because that will help me to keep going and keep pushing out new videos. I'm going to do a little recap and bring in a segment from the last video onto this one, and then we'll go into what we have to do to get a clap. Here's what we'll be working towards today. We're going to go into project and we're going to go to new and hit enter. And so what you get when you start off with a new project is a drum kit. We don't want that right now. If you hit up on this keypad here, you'll get into the whole column view and then scroll down with this knob to delete and say delete that. So we're going to go ahead and use tone. So we're going to hit sound random. And so what I'm going to start with is the kick. The drums ones are money. There we go. I think that's a good starting point. Hit shift sound to go into the sound editor. Sine wave based oscillator here, and then noise. That noise is a little too long. So luckily we're already in the partial edit mode, which is what we want. Different volume envelopes or amplitude envelopes so that we can sculpt each of these separately. So let's see here. So if you hit these buttons, you go to each of the different partials. So these encoders have buttons. So we're on partial 1, and now we're in partial 2. And I want to just turn the noise decay down a little bit. We're going to still want that transient, but just really quick. Okay, and then we're going to move on to the second track here. We're going to hit random again. So let's go into random. We're going to go to snare, hit enter. Like that one. Let's just go with that for now, and we'll sculpt that a little bit. We've got a triangle wave. We have noise. And so the noise, volume, what I want to do is, now if you hold down one of these encoders and turn it, changes by 100 at a time. So that's a good way to work faster than just going like this. Yeah, look, there's some resonance there. That's good. To use the EQ a little bit, so rolling off the low end, give it a little mid-range boost, and high-end boost. So when working with clap, I use an 808 as a basis to find a nice clap. The Zencore engine will give you a way to do some new things, and I'll show you more about that. Let's talk about this clap sound. So I've already built this here, and I want to go through some of that. So we'll do shift sound to talk about this, and so it may be better just to review through this. You want to be in partial mode. You'll need that. You can't use the easy edit because we're going to be using a lot of different things on all 4 partials. One easy thing about it though is that each of these partials is just the noise oscillator. Put them all to noise from the beginning. And then the filters, yeah, we went with high pass filter. And if you want different types of claps here, you can just change that from high pass to peak. Or I found band pass, high pass, crispiest, and then that could be good, and we could turn up the resonance. I like that. Kind of gives it the more hall clap sound, big. What you do is you click this encoder to go to partial 1, and you see the attack is 0. The decay and release are 4, so very quick. The second one and third one are still 0 attack. I tried turning these up, but I'll show you something that I did that worked out a little bit better. So the fourth one has a decay of 160 and release of 419. So that's the release is really what you're hearing there. That sustains because the decay would be more like that. That's the quickness of that. So I had forgotten about the delay parameters on the envelope because they're quite buried in the lists. So say you're editing in here, you're not going to see it on any of these screens. So what you often do is you can be in here, you can be over any of these sections, and if you hit enter, you go into the deeper editing screen. Danger, menus, menu diving, rampant. Okay, so, and then the up arrows will take you, you can scroll between these sections faster. See the top level headers. And then if you hit down, you'll go to this sub menu and be able to get to these sections. So you want to be in the sub menu under oscillator or OSC and scroll over to this. It's pretty hidden if you don't know about this. I had to look at the manual again to refresh my memory. But what you need to do to get those delay, like a envelope delay on some FM synth engines, is this right here, this time one on delay time here. I've delayed the whole partial by this much time, and I think that's milliseconds, but it could be some other differentiator. So you can hear that now. We've got more of a distinct separation between all these transient noises, so we truly can get a nicely crafted clap tone now. I was earlier forgetting about this, and now I'm super excited because what this means is not only can you do this for something as simple as and quick as a clap, but you can delay out other things even longer and create a simple form of wave sequencing, kind of like on the Korg wave state. So you're only going to have 4 partials, so you won't be able to do quite as much as you would do on a wave sequencer, but still 4 could give you a lot of cool things. And then let's explore around here a little bit. There was something else I found while digging around in the deep menus. Amp, and if you go to pan, what I like to do is you can add some randomness to the panning of each of your partials. So that is super nice to have that control. So you can click these encoders to quickly go between the partials and then turn them up and give each of the partials more randomness on the stereo image. Super cool, super nice to have. That's going to be a game changer for using this to do more advanced sound design. Can't forget this part. This is what's giving it a ton of tone here, the effect. Let's turn this off and show you what it sounds like, just to be fair. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a driving clap sound that you'd really want to have. And I think what I did is I started working by turning on the spectrum effect. We cut off a little bit of band 1, which is low end, and band 2. And then here we start boosting a lot of the frequencies, and that's what gives it the sound that we're looking for when we want to get the clap sound to not just sound too dry, too normal. So yeah, again. Very cool. Good stuff. So we're working from that, and that gives it the tone. You could try some other effects to give it different kinds of tone. Let's talk about the next big point. Definitely when you're building tracks up like this, I say the kick is super important to build like this. You can play kick bass lines that way and do all sorts of things. And you can also use these knobs. You can assign each of these 3 knobs to different parameters on the kick and give it all sorts of tonal control, which you can record in. When you turn on the motion, you could record those into your sequence, which could be very nice. So that would be some of the advantages of doing this instead of just using a kit track. But what I've come to realize is you don't want to take up all 8 of your tracks just doing drum tones. You maybe want to draw the line somewhere and say, well, you know, the snare's good and the kicks, or maybe you say the clap is what you want because it's got this really distinctive sound, and you can get a sample for the snare. So, you know, figure out what you want to sculpt the most when you're playing your songs so that you don't lose all of the tracks. So let's say we only use 2. for drum synthesis. And then we use a kit for the third one or the fourth one. Since we already have that here, we'll put it on the fourth track here. And so we're going to select drum, and maybe even, I like this drum with the compressor. It is, you only get one, but man, that is a good tone. We won't have time to go into that in this episode, but let's just say we start off. You're probably familiar with all these tones. Okay, there's the kick that you get. You can obviously pick any kick you want. But say we go into this and we got our kick right here, and we want to put most of the attention for the kick there. So you can use more of these samples for other things. So one thing, we could obviously use drum synthesis to make the hi-hat sound. And there are particular tones of hi-hats that are nice to synthesize, but to make it convenient, you might have to use up 2 more tracks for that. So I don't recommend that. I recommend using for hi-hat a drum kit here and save your tracks. And then substitute out the kick for more snare or clap. Make this a really powerful kit that maybe has a bunch of cymbals, the hi-hat, and whatever you need, so that you can use the rest of these 4 tracks for what we'll be working on in the next couple episodes. Bass synth, and then lead synths, pads, and you probably leave a track for some samples or for the loop or something like that. So that's my thoughts so far on how to build up one type of live performance kit on your MC-707. Thanks, Phoenix Song, and make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can hear about the next stages of this tutorial series.